Hello, hello out there in the world of helium, of crypto. But today we're going to talk specific about a new announcement the Helium sent out. And I was surprised to see this in my box this morning. But for those who have helium miners, it's good news and bad news. Helium now has formed a partnership with Senate that's going to connect all IoT devices, in other words, to be able to process data and connect to all hotspots that are in that area. Now that's good for all those that are on the ihub bandwagon and join with ihub and getting all the free hotspots and have not invested any of their own money. But it's not really such good news for those who've already figured out this whole game and have already invested their money. So what does that mean for both sides? Let's talk about it. Don't go away. All right, let's talk about the news that came out from Helium today. Okay, let's go through that first, and we'll talk about where this is going to be very positive for a lot of people that are coming on board now with this ihub.global program, where they're giving away free hotspots through affiliation, and it's like this network marketing, and some call it like a pyramid type marketing and so forth, and whatever you want to call it. They're giving away free hotspots, and you have to affiliate and you get your hotspot. Well, what's that going to do to the people, though, that already spent the money for the hotspots and spent the money that understand the whole IoT concept and the data processing that Helium pays, right? I know that with our group, that affects us because we've spent a lot of money, thousands of dollars of money in buying Helium hotspots and in buying also the capacity to be able to process data to tap into that other 35% that Helium would pay. When we heard about ihub global, we thought, well, okay, well, this is going to hurt our hotspot situation. But then we can always make up in the fact that we can put these data processing type of devices on homes and help process environmental data, right? So let's go first to how that's going to affect us. Well, that's going to have to play out, right? It definitely is going to affect us eventually. And our investment definitely is going to make less money than we would have made going in with Helium anticipated from earlier this year. And that's kind of a bummer for us. But for many and for most out there, there's probably only going to be about maybe 300,000 people affected by this that are going to be affected negatively by it. But for the billions they say they're going to implement and the billions of people that are getting free hotspots through ihub global, it's going to be a benefit and make it much more worth your while. Now, here's the downside. Here's what I am concerned about. Helium claims to be the people's network, but yet they seem to be selling their souls to corporate conglomerates that will have influence over Helium. And so will we really be a decentralized network as they initially started out to be, or are we going to become centralized? Well, obviously, if we become more controlled by bigger companies, then we become more centralized. It's like having Amazon step in and control one aspect of your business. And if they can bring so many customers to you, you're obviously going to be influenced by what they have to say, because they can just turn the switch off tomorrow and Helium then would be up a creek without a paddle. But let's talk about the good news. First of all, who is it going to benefit? Many more people than us. And if you're involved in the ihub global, which I would suggest now to get involved, because now we have no choice in the future, it looks like, to go forward with Helium if we're not on board with the ihub global idea and the plan that they have. Look, here we go. Helium announces September 21st that the roaming partnership with Sennett's a company who has already billions of these devices installed in the United States, to connect billions to IoT devices. Helium goes on to say, let's go down through here. Helium goes on to say, I'm going to go back through and look at the computer here, that they already have 1 billion transactions processed in the Senate network annually. Here we go. Our collaboration with Helium Network demonstrates Sennett's commitment to leading through a combination of innovation and partnerships, said Bruce Chatterjee, CEO of Sennett. Helium created a unique and complementary business model for deploying deploying the LoRaWAN networks and the combination of extended networks coverage and the potential economic incentive of HNT puts Senate and Helium Network in a leading position to move a market a step closer to pervasive low-power, wide area network coverage for IoT applications throughout the United States. So we know right now, I wrote Helium, I'm waiting for a response from Helium, because we're based in Latin America. So is this going to affect us? Well, I would assume if they're going after billions of people, that we're going to be going further than just the United States of America. And I would assume that if this partnership exists in the United States with Senate, that Helium, being they formed this agreement apparently with ihub and other larger conglomerates, they'll do that as well in other countries. I'm assuming that. I don't know that, but we do know that ihub is promoting billions of free hotspot miners. So where's our miners that we're still waiting for since April or last year? Are they taking care of them first? Is a question. The facts are they are going to produce billions. I am here watching hundreds of thousands of people sign up for this. We were all alone in our area in South America, and we are not going to be alone anymore. In fact, I'm concerned how that's going to affect us. But let's just go that we jump on board because we have no choice now. We got hundreds of thousands of dollars invested on our equipment, our hardware, and I'm sure we'll be able to find some spots here and there. We were going to invest more directly with Helium, but it looks like they don't want us to invest. They want to go with the larger conglomerates. So I don't like that part. Helium, if you're listening, we don't like that part. We invested our hard-earned money first. If you had told us the plan originally, we could have waited for it. Now what's going to happen to us? So I'd like an answer for that. But let's go into what the positive is, where we can benefit from this, because we're going to have to do this. There's always going to be holes in the network, right? Especially if you're giving away miners to people that really don't understand what it's for. And I was concerned because a lot of this promotion is being promoted on numbers that are much greater than what people are going to make once all these billions of hotspots hit the street. And right now we're only paying 2.5 million Helium per month. And in 2 years, that's going to cut in half. And in 2 years, that's going to cut in half. Okay, so Helium rises. But I'm hearing numbers that they're saying, well, you're going to make your money still because Helium's going to go to $400, over $400 a coin by next year. And in 3 years, it's going to be over $600. Well, you don't know that. What if Helium gives all these miners away to people and they don't like the return because they're being promised hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and even in the hundreds of thousands of dollars I've heard. I've been attending all these seminars and conferences from the ihub.global campaign here in Latin America. And it worries me because I like the Helium project going in. I'm a little bit hesitant now because I invested into them, our money. But if, in fact, they do give these hotspots away and they don't have holes in the network, so all of us that have our own hardwares, like our team here has, we'll be able to fill in the holes. So there is a hope for us. But I wouldn't recommend buying any more hotspots on your own. I wouldn't recommend that at all. You might be able to get in with a couple of them if you're still going to get in now, but it's going to be saturated and the payout is not going to be as good as it is right now. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but if we just do the numbers and the math, which we're going to review right now, we can see that it's going to be very plausible if we own our own hotspots. It's not going to be as profitable to buy our own, install our own hardware, even our data processing devices, if they're going to be given away or hooked up and allowed other hotspots to tap into them. Okay, so that's something we got to take into consideration. Let's look at here what's going on. So we have, what's over here? So they're talking about what they're going to do with the packets, right? What they're doing now in the United States, and that the fact that Helium already has 188,000 hotspots, that's installed now. But we're waiting for hundreds of thousands more to come in, just from people like us that bought them, right? And then you're going to have, let's say you're going to have approximately, their estimation was about 500,000 by next year, right? In 16,000 cities, 128 countries. I think, obviously that's going to expand now country-wise, because I know in certain Latin American countries, in South America, there was no Helium hotspots at all. In fact, I know of one in particular. There were none. And our team went in there first, and we're waiting for our hotspots. We're starting to hook things up now, getting home together. Then ihub comes out with their plan. So we're going to go through, it talks about the roaming. LoRaWAN roaming enables different networks across various countries.
and regions to combine their coverage zones, providing more connectivity to LoRa in devices. Roaming on LoRa networks can be utilized not only by mobile devices, such as location sensors. This is where we're going to go with it now. Location sensors, tracking devices, but also by fixed stationary devices such as water level sensors, smoke detectors, and more. Those that are environmental type of, take environmental readings, right? So like the air quality and things of that nature. Those are all data that we'd be able to process through Helium and gain more HNT. Okay, we're going to go into how Helium is going to pay now. Since they've restructured things. We had some problems in China and other places that were actually spoofing, and they're saying that the hotspots were located here, when it was nothing more than basically just VPNs relocating and putting them on a GPS system, and really not creating a network at all, just stealing HNT, literally. And so unfortunately, Helium changed that, which is good. I like that. And they added some more area for us to be able to recover and gain more HNT. One area we were going to focus on after the ihub.global announcement was in the fact of the data processing, because we could get all that. We are IoT specialists, and we thought, well, we can just do this and increase this for the people that we'll bring on board in our own systems as well, and be able to then profit, because you're going to have this huge onslaught in the next 2-3 years of people with miners. Now, I understand that Helium's in competition. I know that people out there are going to try to beat them to this. And so what they're doing is try to race to it. And I guess going one by one with the people was too slow. And I understand that, because it was a good idea. So I kind of see they're kind of back with the back up against the wall. But I do think they should take care of those who have their own devices as well. Okay, Helium, please. So let's go in and see how we can take advantage now. So we understand that this is going to be set up to where it's going to be like a passive roaming. A roaming partnership with Helium, such as Senet, allows devices and sensors to send traffic through the Helium-compatible hotspot without requiring any device configuration or firmware updates. Okay, we already knew that, those of us that were already going to or processing data. Let's go down here and see where we got. Okay, so we got an idea of the field, the farmers, tracking soil or tracking moisture content, things of that nature. In the city, you got your bikes, the scooters, so forth. Well, all this now is going to be aired so it can link up to a local hotspot. You don't have to buy that hardware anymore. So all of you in Helium, you don't have to buy that hardware anymore. You're going to get a free hotspot, and you're going to get free devices, or actually access to devices that are going to be installed by this company. All right? By Senet. So what you have here, let's go see, what are our benefits? Benefits of roaming with Helium. The IoT network operators that enter into roaming partnerships benefit from Helium's expansive reach around the world. You see that? There it is. Around the world. Utilizing the coverage to provide by the rapidly growing Helium network. Helium roaming partners are also able to expand coverage into new areas with minimal upfront costs. So we don't have to pay for our devices or hardware anymore. None. ihub.global gives you a free device, and Senet will connect these data roaming processors that will connect to all the devices in the area. So those are going to benefit first, naturally going to be those in the larger cities, right? Create a redundancy of existing coverage areas, see immediate ROI without the need to deploy additional gateway infrastructure. You see, we don't have to deploy it, we don't have to buy it. So those of us who already bought it, well, I guess we're a little chapped over that. But if we get involved with iHub right now, then we can recover our money. And I'm sure we're going to have some holes. But that's what I'm saying. I'm sure we'll be able to fill in the gaps. There's going to be gaps there, because these people aren't going in to support Helium for Helium. They're going in because they're being promised money. And if they don't get the returns they're being promised, you're going to have people disconnect. And there's going to be gaps. So let's go here. Let's turn this off here. Let's go here. So we're leveraging existing LoRaN network server infrastructure. Only pay for data based on usage, packet received. Additional hotspot owners benefit significantly from roaming onto the Helium network through. So here we're going to be roaming onto it. Increased network traffic generated by high-density IoT solutions being deployed, such as smart water monitoring, smart agriculture, smart cities. So everything that's going to be in a smart city, that's why I'm saying those in the bigger cities are going to benefit more from it. Environmental monitoring and supply chain logistics. Emphasis placed on network usage versus providing coverage for HNT rewards over time are shown here. So you can go in and look this up. It's actually the announcement. we will put it down below so you can look it up for yourself too, right? It's the Senate announcement that they made today. So let's jump now over to, let's jump here. Let's go back over to the helium.com. And let's see exactly how Helium pays, but to sum this up. Let's see where this is going to benefit, all right? Those of us already involved already know this. So I'm going to actually talk to those who didn't know that this is going to benefit them. And this is going to be great for ihub. This is huge news for ihub and these other conglomerates that are out, moving thousands, if not millions, of hotspots and free hotspots to form this network. Here's what happens. We know that since the halving, things have changed a little bit. So challengers get 0.9%, not even 1% of challenger rewards, right? So we won't even go there. Let's look at the areas that we're going to mostly make our money in providing for this network. Is in proof of coverage, which is 5%, 5.02%. Hotspots earn a share of HNT for participating in proof of coverage and validating their peers witnessing wireless coverage. So that's in validations, all right? So you have here, if you go here to the hotspots, you're going to see how they're going to be able to validate each other, right? In the proof of coverage. Then you have the witnessing. So you're also going to be able to witness each other for data and things that are processed on this blockchain. So you'll be able to witness hotspots that monitor and report proof of coverage. All right. So those are reporting the proof of coverage or witnessing it actively as beacons of other hotspots. Receive a portion of HNT depending on how much activity they've witnessed and rewarding scale of the challengee. So you have the challengers here. You have the proof of coverage. You have witnessing. Most of this focus on these two. You got 20.8% and 5.02%. So basically you've got 25% with a little margin there. All right. 25% is what what most people in ihub Global, for example, we're going to be able to tap into. Work. Right? So listen to this, people in ihub Global, and this is why if you're not involved, you should get involved now. Because they're filling up fast. In what's going to happen now, you'll be able to tap into more than 25% of the HNT being awarded daily and monthly. But now you'll be able to tap into 35%. See that number there? So what's out here in the field or what the data is in the city is going to link to the hotspots. And then that will also increase data being processed, which then goes back to increasing proof of coverage, which go back to increasing witnesses, your hits, and so forth on your Hotspot Miner. Okay, so now we're going to be able to get 35%. HNT distributed hotspots that transfer data from devices on the network. The amount of HNT is allocated proportionally based on the amount of data hotspot transferred. So like I said, those in the inner cities or bigger cities, not the inner cities necessarily, but the bigger cities, the more advanced cities are going to be able to mine more HNT. So those outside of the cities, that's going to then lower the amount of HNT that we'll be able to make. Now, if in fact the HNT value does rise with the amount of HNT being rewarded over the next 2 to 3 years, then we can compensate that and still it's viable and worthwhile for us to get involved with. If I would think with this kind of a network and this company Senate coming in, I wasn't real thrilled on the ihub Global because I wasn't sure what advantage they brought to Helium other than giving a bunch of miners to people who really didn't or don't understand the purpose of Helium, with all the respect, but that's truth. Now with Senate coming in, I can see where the data processing would go through and now Helium can then earn or make money as a business and therefore raise the value of their coin like a company would in their stock. So in that aspect, it's good and reinforcing. The downside is those who already have the hardware is going to affect us. Most likely is going to affect us because then HNT is going to be spread over many more people, right? So that then lowers our rewards. We can hope though that value of coin comes up, which it looks like it might with this agreement with Senate. So good and bad news. Take it how you will. Do your homework. Remember, this is not financial advice. We are here with DeFi, IoT, Latin America to help educate. And we are educating ourselves as well. We hope that you can learn something from us. So if you like what we're bringing you, we're a fairly new company as far as on YouTube. We were going through a lot of our experiences for the last few years, and we decided we wanted to share that, help other people. We were doing it privately. And we thought, well, you know what? Maybe there's more people out there that want to hear this, especially our focus in Latin America, where it's really relatively new in Latin America outside of Mexico. And so then we got a lot of
people asking us from the United States. So we started doing videos on both languages. All right, please hit the subscribe button down there. Let's help you. We try to get on top of this type of news. We're getting better at it as we go along. We had to readjust our schedules with our team. We have a team of about 10 people here that work with us in doing this as IoT specialists. Hit the like button, thumbs up, send it to somebody for us so this hits the algorithm, get this news out. Here's the bottom line. It's good news if you want to get involved with ihub. So for ihub, I'm recommending people get involved. We're going to try bringing people in. We've got like 80 some odd people already signed up with us in ihub now. And so this is good news for all of our clients coming with ihub. And what do we do with our hardware? Well, we got a bunch of hardware, but I think we're going to find those gaps. So those of us who already have hardware, I think we'll be okay. We'll learn to survive. It's going to reduce it down some for us. What I don't recommend is what I recommend is to not buy more hardware. Don't buy more devices. It's all going to be installed for us now, and you can get it free. So if you want more than one, then you're going to have to affiliate yourself with another address. So you can get that through ihub. You just put somebody else there, that person, and you get a commission for whatever they earn. Now, understand ihub, you don't get the full earnings. You get a percentage of those earnings. You get like up to, after 90 days, you get around, somewhere between 15, 20% in ihub. And then if you bring on 10 people, you get like 25%. And then if you bring on 25 people or 26 people, 25 plus one, you qualify 35%. But you get that 35% for everybody else you brought on as well. So really, it doesn't even make any sense to go out and buy your own hardware, to invest $1,000 or $1,500 in antennas, your own IoT devices that will process information, and $600-700, plus you got to wait for it for months to buy a hotspot. So I would say it's time to jump on board with ihub Global. Look for local affiliates and our channel below. I'm not promoting us, but if we want to get involved in this, we got a link down below too. You can get involved with us as well. We're going to try and be very informative. And, it's going to create a lot more income for those involved in ihub Global. Hit the like button below. It's bad news and it's good news. We just got to shift our focus a little bit and adjust. But we're in blockchain. We're in cryptocurrency. Nothing is consistent here. We always got to be in that dynamic edge, and that keeps it exciting for us. We just got to look for that gap of where we can make money, that light. And I'm sure we will going down this road. I love it. It's exciting. And let's learn together. See you soon.